Hey, I'm back again. Right, okay, so the second page, chapter, segment, whatever you want to call it, the beginning. So basically, this is just waffling, me telling you about me, which is something I don't like to do. I don't talk about myself. I just do what I do because I enjoy doing it. Entertainment background, started as a Haven mate, blue coat, red coat, and all that malarkey, children's entertainer. Saw the film Patch Adams, and then decided that I wanted to do more with what I was doing. I wanted to put it to a better use, rather than entertaining people on a sun holiday. Hooray. So that then went to, so I started in 1991 at the holiday parks, finished in 2003. Got a job working for a charity called Deafblind UK. This is where I met Jimmy, for those of you that know Jimmy. If you don't, you will by the end of your reading. Jimmy is deafblind, so he was born deaf. Went completely blind at the age of 18. I think he's 55 now. Never had any experience of magic, had no concept of it. After being there a couple of weeks, I realised there was no quality of life. So they're doing things like hospital appointments and learning to cope with their disability and medical visits and all this, but there's no fun. There's no, arsing about and stuff. So I started to come to work dressed up as a rabbit or whatever, so they could fill the costumes. Then I started to adapt the comedy magic. There was only nothing special. I'm not Shin Lim. It was just change bag and a thumb tip. Adapting that and the handling of that so they could access it. So that was the first job. And back then when I started doing that, I did regret it because it was a nightmare. But now it's second nature because I've been doing it for years. And that's when I started going to Blackpool to research stuff and to see what had been done on this before. People have always got their ideas. Oh, you can do this for blind people, you can do that. And a lot of it, you can't. It's a load of crap. At the end of the day, when you show somebody a magic trick, you want them to experience a magic trick. And if they're blind, the only way you can do that is by touch. You can't tell them, oh, it's changed from a red card to a black card. Well, that's shit. That's not him experiencing magic. That's just you telling him. Oh, it does make me laugh. So it's working out tricks that can be handled, not thoroughly, but just handled enough. I normally say they can feel what the audience sees. They don't need to feel everything. They just need to be included and involved. And they do need to feel it, else you could be sat anywhere doing anything. Oh, this has happened. Chicken's just fallen out my handbag or something. That's not magic, is it? So there's ways around it. And when I first started, basically the reaction at Blackpool was, well, if they're blind and deaf, well, they're doing out. Should be at home. So thanks for that. That was helpful. And the more I got that, the more it annoyed me. And the more I was determined to keep going. And then it was the whole sponge balls thing. Sponge balls, that's what you want, sponge balls. And it was just sponge balls. There was nothing else being suggested. Nothing. What about sponge balls? Oh, for God's sake. So then we went through a phase of sponge balls, and that's fine until you find a blind person that can tell you how many sponge balls you've loaded into their hand, because they're bloody clever. So then that goes tits up. So sponge balls is an option, but it's not always a safe option. So the years went on, and basically I gathered a few tricks that was enough to get a show together. And I toured for the Charity Sense with Jimmy, who I told you about before. We toured just doing like a 40-minute set of basic stuff and stuff that he could appreciate as a trick. He was told how they worked, but Jimmy didn't really care how they worked. He liked the showmanship. He liked showing off in front of people. He was a proper showman. He got magic. He showed me that. He did a trick with he made a pound coin disappear. And when he first did it, we was in a show and he said, I've got a new trick. And I was like, don't know, this could be scary. I don't know if I like the sound of this. And he put a pound coin in his hand. He put his hands behind his back. He brought his hands out. The pound coin had gone. And I'm thinking, he's put it up his bum. I bet he's holding it in his bum cheeks. So when I turned him round, he weren't there. So that told me that he got it. He knew what he was doing. The pound coin was under his watch strap. Very clever. Yes, he's got a watch. It's a brow watch. That's another question. Right, okay. So then it sort of went from there. We did the touring with Sense. We got asked to go abroad. We've done shows in Denmark. I've done shows in Holland. I got asked to go on a trip with Patch Adams to a deaf-blind centre because of what I was doing. Nobody else was doing it. And as far as I know now, there's still nobody that's focusing on the visually impaired stuff. All I do now is shows for disabled people. I do the very rare children's parties, and I work with a princess. And I know I'm just saying that because I know a lot of magicians hate that. But yeah, and I'm quite happy with that. I don't do many. I do a few to keep me young. But my priority is the disabled shows. Shows for people that might not or would normally not be included for whatever reason. Currently working with the local theatre, the Key Theatre. They give me the venue 4 or 5 times a year, and I invite who I want there. So it's not open to the general public. I invite disabled groups and, people that have got 2 or 3 carers or, that fit the bill. I want the audience that I want. And I get them up and include them. Yeah, I think that's sort of it. Yeah, I'm not even going to start to list the amount of people that help me. The support over the years has been phenomenal and continues to be so. And that is why I keep going, because one, I enjoy what I do. I do it because I love it. I don't get paid for it. I do it for nothing. I live off my wife. She totally understands what's going on. I meet with people in coffee shops. I do little shows in coffee shop. I turn up with a bag of stuff. I show them the magic. I take stuff that I can show them how it works, but I don't show them everything. I show them bits that you'll get in kids' sets. Over the years, everyone and anyone has supported me either by money or a quote or donations of magic, and the list is huge. I'm normally the bald-headed, potato-headed guy that begs for stuff, and I don't mind that. That's fine. I'll go by that if it works. Right, so that was my waffling for the beginning. I will see you soon. Bye-bye. This is fun, isn't it? Fun. Bye-bye.